Hey everybody, welcome. It's Karen Lanoux from No Limits Business Woman and the Law of Attraction Center. And I'm sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I just all kinds of technology stuff. I had to get it figured out so I would show up everywhere. So welcome. It is the hashtag Create 2020 Plan Jam, and I've decided to do this maybe a little bit differently. But if you're here, please let me know. I'm monitoring all kinds of different places. Hey, Juanita, good to have you with me. See if I'm showing up in other places too. I hope I am. I'm just gonna kind of make sure that I am showing up where I am supposed to show up. Yeah, just getting all this set up here. So yes, I'm there. That's good. I'm here. Yes, awesome. Yay. I love it when it works out. Yay, Juanita. Again, it's so great to have you here with me too. So as I'm going to go along, this is going to be short. I've decided what I want to do is to keep this as short as I can, which is sometimes a feat for me. But what I want to do today is really start the process of helping you plan an amazing 2020, and really it is about getting into the right state, selecting some goals that you really want to do. Also, kind of taking a look at what as you look back on 2019, how did that go? What worked? What didn't work? And so we're going to take a look at that. So today we're going to start with this. Again, I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible, maybe 15, 20 minutes, although that, I probably already been talking for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow, and then if need be on Wednesday and maybe even Thursday as well. So, because I really want to make sure that you get the tools that you need to get this started. So one of the things I'm going to do is talk about very specifically some things that I have actually put in the new year of WOW. And so for those of you who are going to be watching later, Juanita, I know that you're familiar with this, but with the year of WOW, it's the Daily Attraction Journal over here. This is the old one. I've actually ordered the new ones. They're all coming in. I'm getting one of every color, quite honestly. But what the journal does, and what it has, and I've had it going now for 5 years. Since 2014, and keep improving upon it. But one of the things that I want to actually do, or I have done with the new one, is to add in a specific element, which is what is going to actually form the basis of our plan jam, is something I call vibe design. And hey, LD, I see you've joined us. Welcome. So glad to have you with me here and with us. And so I'm just got a few people joining all over the place. That's great. That's awesome. So again, as you're coming in, just come in and say hello. Give me a heart emoji or anything, and just a happy emoji. Again, it's great to have you here. But as I was mentioning, what I've done is I've added in this aspect called the vibe design. Because really, when we're creating what we want, we really are, it's all about us getting into the right vibrations, the right energy, into the right state. And so, so what we want to do first, easy enough, start with a goal. Start to actually write out what's one of your goals for the year. And start to, you can write, 1, you can write 3, you can write 10, it doesn't matter. And because really it all comes down to what is it that you're wanting to create for the next year. And then start to look back at, are these things that I was trying to work on last year, did I achieve those goals? Did I get close? Did I kind of, get partway there? Or now, yes, I achieved those, and now I want to go way further. And because here's the thing, if you achieve your goal, that's awesome. But for the other two, it's like, well, no, I didn't even get anywhere close, or I got there and it was difficult, and there was overwhelm, and it was really hard on me. Then we want to take a look at that, because those particular aspects, of not achieving your goal, and or it was just really hard on you, are going to have an impact on your 2020, especially if they're the same goals. Because what happens is we start to pull back, and if we're not, if we didn't get what we wanted in the first place, or if we got what we wanted, but it was overwhelming, and so we'll start to pull back our energy, and we want to make sure that we're not doing that. We want to make sure that we're not pulling back our energy, and that we're not impeding this, because this is the thing that I found over the last 12 years that I've been working with my clients, is that when there's an energetic block, when we're kind of pulling back, or we're butting heads with the thing that we want, the thing that we say we want, if we're butting heads with that, it's like Tony Robbins says, we'll do more to avoid pain than to create pleasure. And so if we're doing that, we're doing more to avoid pain, then that could be one of the reasons that we didn't actually get where we wanted to go in 2019. It could be that there were distractions that were popping up. Distractions they really make a huge difference on us not getting what we want. And in today's world, it's hard not to be distracted. Through social media, through our phones, through email, through just advertising. I mean, we're being bombarded. We're listening to stuff. We're constantly kind of bringing stuff into us, bringing information in, but we're not necessarily just sitting with ourselves and taking time to connect with our goal and connect into that state of that energy. What is it like that it's done, or when it's done, right? And that's really crucial to have. So first thing I want you to do today is I want you to write down 1 or 5 or 10 of your goals. And if you want, plug them in here, plug them in down below, and let us know, what are your goals? What is the 1 or 2 things that you want to do? And Ildes just asked, he goes, even setting a goal sets your energy either conscious or unconsciously towards achieving it, right? Yes, that's absolutely true. We're setting an intention, essentially, right? And so yeah, as soon as we start to do that, as soon as we say, yeah, I'm going to do this, we're actually starting to set it in motion. Now, depending on how successful we've been with our goals in the past, there's a part of us that might kind of go, oh yeah, nah, she's not that committed. We've done this before and it's been no big deal. And so there's a part of us that might actually, again, be pulling against us. So we want to make sure that we get clear on that. And I'll talk about that probably tomorrow. But again, what we want to do is set that intention. So Juanita says she wants to be healthy and make more money. That's great. So when you're setting those goals, what I'd like you to do is actually be more specific. And again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to, do the specifics here. But what does healthy mean? Because for everybody, that's different. And if you think about this in terms of, if you think about, I came up with this in one of my first books called it's called Turo, which is the universal restaurant of everything. Okay, so you're at Turo and you're putting in your order and you're saying, okay, I'm looking down the menu here. I want to put in my orders, so I want to be healthy. So it's like you're putting your order into the waiter, and they're saying, okay, she wants to be healthy. Well, what does that mean, right? What specifically does that mean? Does that mean, that you're at a goal weight? Does that mean that you are able to, run a marathon? Does that mean that you have lower blood pressure if you have high blood pressure? Does that mean, again, be specific about what those parameters are. And I'll talk about that also in a moment, because what are the parameters? But also the thing is, make more money. Well, so what is make more money? If you made 5 more cents than you did last year, that is more money. Is that what you're talking about, right? So it's really crucial to be very clear about what your goals, because if you're at Turo, this wonderful restaurant, the universal restaurant of everything, be clear about what it is exactly that you are wanting to create. And so so that's your first step. The next step that I want you to do, oh, and Ildi just says, host 3 women's retreats. There you go. That's great. That's really clear. You also might want to say, well, so how big are those retreats, or in 2020? And so host 3 retreats. So are they are the retreats, is it retreats of 20 women? Is it retreats of 200 women? Right? And so again, getting clear, and we'll come to that in a moment, because yes, women's retreats. So now, what are the parameters of it? But before I get to the parameters, what I'd like you to do is actually create a symbol for that. And so what is that symbol? So and the symbol, and why a symbol? Well, I'm going to mention about why you want to do a symbol. And I see, I look like I've frozen some different places here. But a symbol, the way our subconscious mind works is it actually operates in symbols, right? And so symbols, not symbols like off your drum set, but symbols in terms of letters or numbers or pictures, right? And so what is that? What could you use as a symbol? Because what we want you to do is, as you're starting to think about your goals, is actually being able to identify with a symbol of it. Because again, our subconscious mind thinks in terms of symbols, and that's what it most resonates with. Also, when we're talking about the infinite intelligence and how your goal connects in with infinite intelligence, the universe, God, whatever that is for you, then it's also in symbols. So it's all about symbols, not necessarily about words, but it's symbols and energy. And so what I'd like you to do then is pick your symbol for your goal. So again, for your first goal, what is that? So if it is 3 retreats, you could just be 3R, right? Something like that. And you also might want to surround it with something like a circle or a triangle or something. There's something that Joe Dispenza uses where he puts 2 circles around it, but they're wiggly lines around it, as if it's a. And here, I'll write it out. As if it's kind of energy. So it's energy. So just using Ildi's, and this is Ildi's example is like 3 R's. So with 2 squiggly lines around it, just again, suggesting energy, right? Or energy around it. And when we do that, it just gives us something that we can connect into more easily, because we are connecting in subconsciously. So when you're about to go to sleep, when you're about to wake up in the morning, or when you're waking up in the morning, or when you're just walking around, all of a sudden, if you can connect in with that symbol, and then what we're going to do is we're going to connect you in with the energy of that. What does that feel like? But that's our next steps. But start to actually just connect in with that symbol. So when you think of your goal, it's that symbol. And that's the next thing that I want you to do, is to identify a symbol. Then the third step, and there's 6 steps, but again, I'll just go through the first 3, I think, today. So 14, yeah, just so as we're not going too long. But the third thing that I want you to do is then start to write out what are the parameters of this. So for Ildi, again, 3 retreats are, you could write down where they might be. You could write down how big you'd like them to be. You could maybe even write down about what the topics are. I mean, so again, what are the parameters? So what are the parameters of this? Also for Juanita, you talked about health. Again, when you kind of get a little bit clearer about that, what are the parameters of that? Maybe it's just it being more healthy. It could be it could be, you know, I do have, you know, good, my blood pressure is 120 over 80. You know, I'm at my goal weight, and you could state what that number is. It could be, and that it's easy. One of the things that, in terms of your parameters, is you want to make it, you want to have that parameter in, is that it's easy, right? And maybe even quickly. You might even say that it happens really quickly. And, but easy and quick. Those are always my things. That's like, yeah, let's have it be easy. Let's have it be quick. So, but start to write down the parameters. What is involved in your particular goal? What are the things that you want to have be part of this goal, right? So again, if you're wanting to make more money, so let's say I want to make another. I was talking to one of my clients today. She wants to double her income, right? She wants to double the income of her business. This year, her business did 500,000. So now she wants to do $1 million. So let's say, what are the parameters? So let's say that's her goal. $1 million for my business. So now, what are the parameters of that? Well, one, that it's easy. Two, that it could be that I have all the right staff. It's easy for me to hire, because right now she wouldn't, her group, her current staff would not be able to undertake that group, that number of people. But what are, so those are three parameters. That it is the ideal clients, that, clients who love me, right? Like that could be the clients that love her business, that work really well with her staff. And it is easy to find, to help them do what she does, right? So it's easy for her company to get them gigs, let's just say that, right? So those are just some examples of the parameters, right, that you might write. So again, your first thing is to identify your goal. Your second thing is to create a symbol for it. So this is something we're going to use later. We're going to talk about tomorrow, where how do you use the symbol? And then the third thing is, what are the parameters? What are the parameters of the goal that I want to create? So again, in this particular example, my client, she wants to double her business to $1 million. So she needs new staff. She needs great staff. It's easy. She's able to attract the right clients, ideal clients, that she's able to attract great staff, and she's able to get her clients really great gigs. So those could be the parameters for her business. But it just gives you an example of what I'm looking for when I say, what are the parameters of the goal that you want? So any questions? I think, well, that's just to get you started. That's where we're going to start today. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how do you actually now start to add that energy to it? How do you add, again, this is vibe design. So then how do you add your vibration to this? So, because when we add our vibration to this, when in vibe design, what we're doing is we're connecting in and getting aligned with our goals. And when we get aligned with our goals, that's when the magic happens. I used to have a tagline that in one of my websites, where it says, I have one foot in logic and 1 foot in magic. And this is where this all comes together, is when we are getting down to the strategic things. Here's the thing that I want. I'm stating it very clearly about what it is that I'm asking for. I'm writing about, here's the parameters, here are the characteristics or the criteria of my goal. And then next is, we're going to talk tomorrow, we're going to talk about the magic, and how do we get in and start creating the magic, so our goals just start to happen, and they come easily. So any questions so far? Itchy nose. So I'm checking in on the variety of the different pages that I want. I'm everywhere today. But anybody else, any questions? I'll wait a moment, because I know there's a little bit of a lag time here. And again, why is being in alignment important? I just want what I want, and maybe you've had this in the past, where Things have just happened where you just thought of something and it happened. Well, the reason that happens is that you were in alignment with it, for one thing, and two, you were actually not stopping it. And here's the thing, that's the thing that I find for so many people, is that we actually stop. We're the ones that put the brakes on when we're trying to create the things that we want in our life. So that if the goal hasn't come to you yet, it's easy to kind of say, oh, it's out there and it has nothing to do with me. It's like, people don't want to buy what I sell, or I'm not very good at the, not that, but it's like, again, people don't want to buy what I sell, or it's hard to do that. It's hard to make more money. If I make more money, then I'm going to have to work way harder, and I'm already working, 60 hours a week. I don't want to work harder. So right there, that's all about mindset. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're not doing that, being really aware of what is going on for us when we're thinking about our goals. So, and that's the thing that stops us over and over again. And that's the things that we want to make sure that you start to clear out. So your job today, I'm not seeing anybody post anything, any other questions. But what I want you to do today, again, set out your goals, write them down. What are your different goals? Be very specific about them. Next thing I want you to do is create a symbol for each of your goals. So the symbol can be a letter, it can be a little picture, it can be a letter and a number, or a couple of letters. So get those and then put something around it, a symbol, some kind of circle or a triangle or squiggly lines in kind of indicating energy. So create your something that's memorable for you. So it's going to be easy for you to kind of write it down and look at it and think about it after. So again, in those tween zones, when you're just walking around, boom, there's a symbol that you're identifying with your goal. And the next thing is to write down your parameters. What are the criteria of this particular goal? How will I know that I've actually reached it? So you're putting in it's like you're putting in your order to a restaurant, and you're putting in your order to the restaurant and you're expecting it to be fulfilled. But that also means you need to be clear with your waiter or server. So there's that. Now, the other thing I'm going to plug in here that I actually don't have in the new Year of Wow in the Vibe Design is, now that you've done these three things, I want you to take some time before we come back tomorrow and think about, how does this feel? Am I excited about this goal? Is there apprehension? Is there a little bit of apprehension? Is there something that feels a little bit heavy, for me? Or does it just feel like pure on excitement and enjoyment? And so, and let me know this tomorrow, because I'm going to ask, does it feel exciting? Does it feel light for you? Does it feel like, yeah, of course, this is what I want? Now, don't fear if there is a little bit of heaviness there, if there is a little bit of apprehension, don't worry about it. I'm going to talk about how to get rid of that, because don't let that stop you from you putting that down as a goal. There's often, what happens for people is they think, well, I don't feel really excited about it, although it is a goal that I really like to attain, but I feel a little bit of heaviness, or again, this apprehension. Maybe that's a sign I shouldn't be doing it. That's not true. Not a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. It just means that there's some junk there that we need to get rid of, and I'll talk about how to get rid of that tomorrow. So if there are no other questions, this is where we'll kind of leave off for today. Is not so funny. I'm looking at the other pages that I'm on today, and one's frozen and one's not. Who knows how this all works? But again, we're going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, so an hour earlier than today. And we're going to continue to go through the Vibe Design in our Create 2020 Plan Jam. And we're going to walk through about what are the next steps that you take, so you're going to be able to create an amazing 2020. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out. There's lots of places you could be right now. There's lots of people that I know there's there's a lot of us that are doing this kind of stuff right now. I'm really thrilled that you decided to come and join me today. So I will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, or no, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 Mountain, 5 Central, 6 Eastern. So see you soon. Have a great night. Okay, bye-bye.